Catwoman, number 6, written by Judd Winnick, art by Gillum March. We left off last issue with Catwoman finding out that all the money she stole was from the cops in Gotham, and so she was arrested by like 150 police officers. This issue picks up basically showing, okay, she was brought in, she's in an interrogation room, and that her records and her fingerprints and like everything are gone. Like, they did a search on her, and she's not giving up her name, but nobody can find anything on her from any source. So she is a verifiable Jane Doe. And Catwoman has no idea why that's happening, but she's counting her lucky stars right now. So they come in and they say, like, all right, where's the money? And she's like, well, here's the thing. It's hidden somewhere, and if you kill me, you're never going to find it. So I think that we need to work together here in order to get to a little agreement. And the cops are like, all right, welcome to the hard way. And they leave the room, and then who walks in but Reach, the superpowered lady from like 2 issues ago. And she walks in, and she is just pissed at Catwoman right off the bat, just throwing punches. We get that one detective who's like interested in, who is it? Detective Alvarez, the one who's interested in Catwoman. Like, oh, this crime thing may be all one person, blah, blah, blah. And apparently, he's told the story that Catwoman just escaped. Like, there were 14 cars on her. They surrounded her, and she somehow escaped. And the person who does the booking was just like, hey, they just said they lost her. I don't know. What do you want? But he looks around and realizes that Esther Mulrooney and Davis, a.k.a. the corrupt cops that he knew from the previous issue, aren't around. And he's like, okay, she's in the precinct somewhere. They brought her in, and they're just keeping her in, like, off the books for a while so they can do some extra interrogation. So he needs to find her ASAP to just save her because he's a good cop. So Reach is immediately just going through all the reasons that she hates Catwoman. It's like, oh, we could have been a team. We could have worked together. You had options. You got pissy at me. Now I'm going to beat the ever-loving crap out of you. She's like, do you think I like working for cops? So Catwoman, as she's down on the ground, completely beaten and bloodied, she just starts whispering something, and Reach is like, I'm sorry, what was that? You finally want to talk? And she whispers something again. And Reach gets nice and close, and she's like, speak up. I know you probably have some cracked ribs, but you got to speak up. And then we see that Catwoman went full-on Mike Tyson and rips off Reach's ear with her teeth. So, yeah, that was a thing. So then she flips the handcuffs to be in front of her, throws a few good punches as best she can. Reach is not playing around anymore. She's like, all right, they wanted it out of you, but I'm just going to kill you. So she does one of the little Reach power things around Catwoman's throat and just holds her up against the wall until she chokes out. But in that moment, just beforehand, Alvarez comes in, uses a nightclub to knock out Reach, and then Catwoman's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm an idiot. You got to go now. And she's like, all right. So she hops on her bike, drives away, and is just like, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth there, but that is very weird. So she goes, she gets the money, and she starts hopping across rooftops. But then she is immediately stopped by Batman, who's like, put down the money and surrender. You have caused enough trouble. And she's like, oh, this is money. This is my laundry. He's like, put it down. I'm not playing games. And she basically just tells him, like, look, I've gone through way too much to have this money. Like, if you knew even half of it, you would agree. I'm leaving with this money. And Batman puts his arms on her shoulders, and then straight up fight scene. They just start fighting at each other. And Catwoman's just pissed in general. But as we see the fight continue on, Batman's also getting really pissed as well. At one point, the Catwoman's whip goes around Batman's neck. He cuts it with a batarang, but then he just, again, grabs Catwoman and just shouts at her, like, enough, this is over. Why do you keep doing this stuff? Like, what do you think I'm just going to let you keep doing this? And Catwoman's like, yeah, if I keep having sex with you, I'm sure you're going to let me. And he's like, this is not a game. You have put so many lives in danger. You put your own life in danger. Is that what you want? And she's like, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I do just want to die. And at that point, Batman backs off for a second. Catwoman leaves the money, but she just runs through the city. She's crying. And she doesn't have anywhere else to go, so that one friend who was the fence that she definitely swore she would never get involved with again, she goes into her apartment, Gwen Altamont, and says, "Hey, yeah, it's me. I'm Catwoman. Can I get your help?" And that's where we leave off for the trade as a whole and the issue. I liked it. I think this is by far one of the like less eventful issues, just because everything else has like done something big and bombastic, and this is kind of just like, all right, whatever. It's more of an emotional thing at the end, but even then, it just, I don't know, it didn't feel particularly earned, because there was nothing that, I mean, Catwoman's put herself in dangerous situations before, but it's never been, at least from an internal sense, from like a place of wanting to die, like having a death wish. It's always been more of a, oh, just try to live the best life you can now because you don't know when it's going to end. So I guess those could be interchangeable, but I don't know. Writing wise, it's fine. It's not great. The smaller beats aren't as good as the overarching, like the interpersonal, just people talking, just like all Reach is saying at the very end of the fight is just like, shut up, shut up, shut up, just shut up and die. Like, I get that, but at the same point, I don't know. I feel like these panels would work even better if it was just silent, but that's just my personal opinion. Overall, though, like I said, I do enjoy this issue. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 6.5. It's definitely up there in terms of, they could go a lot of places with like Catwoman just acknowledging that maybe she has a death wish. That's a good like character beat, but I'm not sure how much they're really going to do with it, because like that whole thing with her friend dying a couple issues ago also kind of just didn't go too far. It just went like one or two issues later, so we'll see where they take it. But overall, I am liking Catwoman in the general sense. I think the art's actually fine. I know Gilliam Arch is hit or miss with a lot of people, but I actually really like this style for this particular book. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a fine book. I am enjoying it more so than many other books that I'm reading. So I am looking forward to seeing what the next arc brings in the next trade.